In Tehran, the US Army is using robots for peacekeeping missions. The robots scan the locals to check for threats and take actions based on the threat level. TV host Novak wants these robots to replace the policemen in American cities, but people are afraid of the robots, and the government is against replacing the police with machines that don't have emotions. To prove his point, Novak has brought a military leader to his show to explain the details of the robot's operation. He has also sent a reporter to Tehran to show the robots work on live TV. While the reporter shows the operation of the robots on the live feed, a group of local rebels launches a sudden attack on the US Army. Soon, the area becomes a battleground. Suicide bombers from the rebel group are jumping toward the robots to blow them. This scares the reporter, and before showing the end of the bombing, Novak announces they have lost live feed to the area due to national security issues. Novak neglects the situation and continues to speak about the benefits of using those robots in American cities. He praises Raymond Sellers, the CEO of Omnicorp, the company that makes these sophisticated robots. Meanwhile, at the police station, Detective Alex comes to see his boss, who demands an explanation for a horrible incident. Alex explains the whole story. The previous night, Alex and his partner Jack met with some criminals as part of an undercover operation. They managed to deceive a dealer into revealing illegal weapons and arrested him on the spot. However, when Alex visited the evidence locker later, the weapons were missing, and nobody had signed the paperwork, indicating that a corrupt cop must have taken them. Afterward, Alex and his partner continued their undercover op to meet a crime boss Antoine Vallon at a restaurant. But before finishing their jobs, Alex and Jack got interrupted by a call warning Antoine that Alex is a cop. The crime boss immediately left the building and sent his men to kill the cops, starting a gunfight all over the place. The two policemen quickly shot back, but they were clearly outnumbered, so when they saw an opening, they tried to escape through the back alley. Alex made it outside without being shot, but unfortunately, his best friend got shot in the process. After hearing the story, Alex's boss scolds him for going out without backup and orders Alex to leave the case, saying she will handle the search for the dirty cop. Meanwhile, in Washington, D.C., Omnicorp CEO Sellers tries to convince the government that using robots for police duties will decrease the amount of death among law enforcement personnel. However, the senators refuse to adopt his idea. Afterward, at Omnicorp's headquarters, Sellers meets with his team to discuss ideas on how they can make the U.S. citizens accept the idea of robot cops. To tackle the government officials' argument about the fact that robots don't feel anything, he proposes merging an actual human with a machine. Sellers then visits Dr. Norton, Omnicorp specialist in robotic prosthetics. He convinces Norton to develop a prototype cyborg. Norton and other Sellers team members are trying to choose the candidate for their project, but they dismiss all of the candidates due to their emotional instability due to their trauma. So, they decided to look for new candidates. Meanwhile, two of Alex's co-workers meet with Anton Vallon to warn him about Alex's recent activities. They recommend him to get rid of Alex before he investigates the whole case. That day, while Alex is visiting his wounded friend at the hospital, a criminal puts a bomb under his car. Alex then goes home and spends some time with his son David and his wife Clara. After putting David to sleep, Alex hears the alarm of his car and goes outside to check. When he gets closer, the car explodes, leaving him severely injured. As soon as Omnicorp hears this news, they invite Clara to their offices to consent to a radical procedure that could save Alex's life. Initially, Clara hesitates, but when the doctors inform her that Alex has a slim chance of survival without the procedure, she gives her consent. 3 months later, Alex is happily dancing with his wife at a house party, but then the image starts to fade away and brings him to Omnicorp's facility. Norton reveals Alex's new form, which is almost made up of mechanical parts except for his brain, heart, and lungs. This freaks Alex out, and when Norton tries to calm him down, he aggressively pushes him away and runs out of the building. When he encounters a wall surrounding the building, he jumps over it after perfectly calculating the force needed to jump. While Alex is running across the farmland, Norton shuts him down remotely. Moments later, Alex wakes up at the lab again, and Norton explains to him that it was the only way to save him, but Alex prefers death over living within a machine and asks the doctor to let him die. However, Norton changes his suicide thought by explaining how Clara and his son are waiting to see him again, so he should do this for his family. Alex then agrees to cooperate and undergoes blood filtration to maintain his body. The next day, he's taken to do some training with Rick, the military man who controls Omnicorp robots' performance in the field. He doesn't like the procedure since he thinks the machines are already perfect, and the company shouldn't waste its resources to put a human inside a machine. He shows Alex how to access his weapons, which are located in his special leg compartment. They then put Alex and a robot through a simulation where the task is to kill criminals and save civilians, and the result proves Rick's predictions to be true. Alex ends up being slower than the machines because the machines simply evaluate and act while Alex takes a moment to go through his emotions to act. Later, Dr. Norton and Sellers get into an argument over Alex's performance. Sellers furiously orders Norton to fix this problem. He also thinks Alex needs to look better on screen for marketing reasons, so he orders his team to make a better tactical suit. Soon, the doctor performs surgery on Alex to make some modifications to his brain. Alex is also given a new black combat armor. Afterward, they bring Alex to a training building for a new test. This time he must defeat Rick and his army of robots in a real gunfight. Using his visor to scan the area and with outstanding reflexes, Alex quickly assesses the situation and takes action, shooting down every single robot without hesitation. Sellers asks how Alex is shooting without emotional interference. Dr. Norton explains that Alex now functions in two modes due to his recent surgery. In peaceful mode, Alex controls his body like other human beings, but in combat mode, the robot does the fighting while sending signals to Alex's brain to make him feel like he is in control. Back in the fighting arena, Alex shoots at Rick's armor and teases him down, winning the test. One night, Norton takes Alex home to see his family, and when he does, Clara warmly hugs him. David is a bit scared of his dad in a robot body, but after Alex lets him touch the cool robotic parts, David says he's happy to see him and asks him to watch games together. Unfortunately, Alex can't stay because he must go to the lab for maintenance. When Alex returns to the base, he meets his old partner Jack, and promises to bring the people who plotted to kill him to justice. Days later, Sellers' team is preparing Alex for a big public event prepared by Omnicorp to showcase future Robocops. Norton begins transferring all the files of crimes and criminals since 2011 into Alex's brain. However, this enormous amount of information is a lot to handle by a human brain, and when Alex sees the videotape of the explosion of his car, he has a seizure and passes out. Although Norton wants the showcase to be cancelled, the Omnicorp team forces Norton to fix the issue. Norton desperately pulls out his last resolution, which is lowering Alex's dopamine levels to suppress his emotions, leaving him to act like an actual cold-blooded robot. Alex then goes to the public event without saying hi to his wife and friends, only analyzing faces as threats or non-threats. Once he gets on the stage, he scans every individual in the area and identifies a criminal in front of a policeman. He immediately jumps into the crowd and catches the criminal without hurting anyone. This event causes the population to start admiring Alex. On his TV show, Novak uses this as a proof for the robot's better performance than the ongoing man-based police. However, Clara is very upset because they won't let her or David talk to Alex because they don't want her to find out about Alex becoming a cold-blooded robot. Norton tries to manipulate her by telling her not to worry because this is just a side effect of a drug he is taking. For days, Alex's job becomes hunting down criminals using his database. Alex becomes a hero in the city, stopping crime in every corner. The people at Omnicorp are happy with the results, and Sellers gives Rick full access to monitor Alex's acts just in case. One day, Clara decides to visit Alex and stops him when he moves out of the police station with his motorbike. She asks him to help his son who is suffering from nightmares after watching him shooting and arresting a man in the public event. At first, Alex seems emotionless, but as he drives away, he begins to search for security footage to see his son's emotions during the night he died. The footage shows David watching the car explosion, which left him traumatized. Learning this about his son really upsets Alex, and slowly his brain begins to increase the levels of dopamine by itself, undoing Norton's process and bringing his emotions back to a normal human level. People at the lab notice this change through Alex's tracker, and it leaves them stunned since they thought his emotions were gone forever. Alex then goes to his home to investigate his own crime case. By taking the information from all the cameras during that night, he recreates the day of the attack and sees his wife and son the moment the car exploded. Using the few clues he got, he goes to look for a man who worked with the crime boss Anton Valen. He drags him out of the car through the window and breaks his hand, asking the criminal to give him the phone number of Anton's driver. After getting the number, he triangulates the signal of his last call and finds his exact location. While Alex is riding his way there, dirty cops at the police station notify Valen to get prepared. Valen calls for all of his gunmen to get ready and to wear night vision goggles since they will take down the light around the area. While Valen's men are waiting, Alex breaks in with his bike and activates his night vision. Soon the area becomes a battleground. The armed men are trying their best to take down Alex using their heavy weaponry, but Alex shoots them one by one using his fast robotic instincts despite some damage to his armor. Afterward, Alex turns on the power again and runs all of the fingerprints on the guns through his database, which finally reveals the dirty cops. Alex returns to the police station in fury and interrogates the dirty cops while playing the footage of the cops' conversation with Anton Valen suggesting him to kill Alex. Feeling doomed, one of the dirty cops tries to attack Alex, but he immediately shoots him to death. The other guy is terrified and confesses that it was their boss who planned everything. Afterward, Alex confronts his old boss and tries to make her confess, but at that moment Rick shuts him down. Soon, Novak puts the incident all over his show, proving that machines are better than people because they can't be corrupt. The following day, the US Senate is voting on an act that permits robots to serve as police officers. Meanwhile, Clara appears on a national news channel and reveals that she has been denied access to her husband for a long time. Clara's involvement worries Seller, fearing she might restore Alex's humanity and lead to a loss of control over him. However, retiring Alex is not also a choice since it would suggest their experiments were unsuccessful. Instead, they decide to kill Alex and make him a popular figure who will be remembered as a tragic hero. Sellers meets Norton to inform him about their idea, and when Norton furiously refuses it, Sellers offers to finance his research laboratory for 10 years and compensate Alex's family as well. Norton finally agrees and moves out of Sellers' office. Meanwhile, Sellers becomes happy after hearing the news stating the Senate has decided on his favor. He then meets with Clara and her son to break the news to them that Alex has died. At the lab, Norton changes his mind and decides to save Alex, but he encounters Sellers' security team. With the help of his assistant, he manages to pass the guards and awakes Alex after removing his controlling transmitter. When Norton tells Alex about the whole plan, Alex decides to kill Sellers, ignoring Norton when he tries to stop him. While riding his bike through the streets, Rick spots him from his car and warns Sellers, who was on the verge of announcing Alex's death during a live stream. Sellers' guards quickly escort him, Clara and David to the roof to await a rescue helicopter. Meanwhile, Norton goes to the police to find Alex's best friend and seek his assistance. At that moment, Alex arrives at Omnicorp headquarters, only to find it surrounded by Rick's robots and numerous guards. Alex breaks into the building on his bike and engages in a gunfight with heavily armed robots. Despite his best efforts, the robot's superior armor gives them the advantage, leaving Alex injured and stuck under robot debris. He finally frees himself by cutting his robot arm, but before he runs away, the robots easily take him down. Just then, a police truck breaks into the building, and Alex's best friend steps in, causing the robots to cease fire as they are designed not to shoot cops. This gives Alex the chance to escape through a back corridor. Inside, Alex confronts Rick, but only to find out that he can't harm him due to the system restrictions that classify Rick as a red asset, meaning non-threatening even if they hold a gun. Rick taunts Alex with warning shots until Alex's best friend arrives and kills Rick first. Unfortunately, Rick's partner manages to shoot Alex's friend. Alex rushes to his friend's side and is relieved to find the wound is non-fatal and tells him to wait for the ambulance to arrive. Alex then heads to the roof, and when the helicopter sees him, it flies away without picking up the group. When he confronts Sellers, Alex tries to shoot him but can't since Sellers is also a red asset. But seeing Alex fighting his programming, Sellers threatens to kill Clara and David just in case. This actually worsens the situation because Alex's love for his family allows him to override his program and shoot Sellers to death. Alex falls to the ground due to Sellers shooting, and Clara rushes to check on him, but he assures them he's fine. Days later, Norton fixes Alex and informs him that from now he is allowed to spend time with his family. Meanwhile, reporters on TV shows are covering the news stating that the government has now cancelled the law that permits the use of robots as police officers. Thank you for watching till the end. If you liked the video, give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to watch more.